So hello and welcome to the 2025 Snowbike World Championships here in Châtel in France. One of the many UCI World Championships this year, kicking off the snowbike here with me, Matt Payne, and Emma Martin, is going to be the Super G. I'm really looking forward to this, Emma.
Oh, it's going to be absolutely brilliant. The 2025 UCI Snowbike World Championships, starting with the Super G. That is the first race up of two today. Now, the Super G, expect long sweeping turns, expect drops on course. This is a time trial for one rider at a time against the clock on the mountainside.
And it's fastest time wins. That's where the destination of the medals, the gold, silver and bronze medal, and of course the rainbow jersey with those iconic rainbow stripes on there will be heading. It's a fabled jersey, it's a legendary jersey, it's sought after by riders across disciplines of the UCI. We're going to see where that destination is. Last year's winner is here.
Yes.
We have the winner both of the dual and of the Super G racing here in Châtel, and it's a real quality field.
It is. So Morgane Such is here. She took the win in the Super G in 2024. She is here as the defending champion. Just 4 riders from that competition last year in the Super G back on the start sheets today.
And you can see the riders getting ready for the women's competition, which comes first. We'll be following that with the men's competition. At the moment, well, the weather forecasters have got it right. It is clear, it is cold, and the wind is hardly anything to speak about. It is an 8-kilometre breeze, and that is hardly blowing. You can see from the flags down at race finish and from the tents that it's not really going to affect the riders' run. So whilst they are going to be making sure that they are keeping the bike down, they are really going to not have to worry about the wind too much. Now, the bikes here, most of the riders riding on a downhill bike, and that's going to be really critical on this run. As you can see, big course.
It is indeed 1,915 metres in length. The drop, the elevation loss around 600 metres. 39 gates on course today, 26 changes of direction, and that's what's going to be the challenge.
It is indeed, making sure that our riders follow all of the rules. The UCI Commissaires panel, President, the Chief and the Secretary all named, and it's a bit bigger than that is the entire panel, because there are commissaires making sure these riders follow the rules out and around the course. They are our race referees, effectively, if you're new to cycling parlance. Now, they will be checking the bikes. All the bikes have to comply to the guidelines, and as you can see, our riders are ranked at the moment on your start list. You can see them there with Morgane Such, the defending champion. She'll be the first rider away. Our last rider will be Abigail Hoagie of the United States of America. And they're going to be taken to our start line very shortly. The tyres, as you can see, are studded to be able to deal with the ice, and you're allowed a maximum of 1 stud per knobble on your tyre to a maximum of 6 millimetres long.
Yeah, and the commissaires doing random checks out there to make sure the riders are indeed following the rules. Now, just as a quick note, the riders have to ride the same bike for both events today.
Okay, let's see what our defending champion can do here today. This is going to be the kick-off from the line by the leader from last year, the winner last year, and that is going to be Such. She's in the start house. The timing will start when she pushes the beam aside, when that light beam is broken. The countdown clock is running. Such from France, the first of our riders down on to these slopes. What time can Morgane Such set here today?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, the defending champion from 2024 leaves the start pen. She took the gold medal in that Super G competition last year. She took second in the dual slalom last year. She is here. She is the first rider out on the course and away today in the UCI Snowbike World Championships.
Well, you can see it coming around these upper slopes, heading down. There are 2 split points on the course. The first split point about a third of the way down, intermediate 1. Then we have intermediate 2, just a little bit lower down, going through intermediate 1 there in 30.92 of a second. That is a pretty quick time, but of course she's first down. She doesn't know what time she needs to set here. Key here is carrying speed and momentum, not getting too out of control. It's really early at the moment in the morning. Our first rider setting off and kicking away just after 9 o'clock here. The temperature's still cold. You can still see almost shadow down here in the valley at Châtel. We will bring you as much of the riders' runs as we can, but we do need to bear in mind that the runs are separated by 1 minute 15 seconds. And of course, this could take longer than 1 minute 15 seconds. So we'll try and show you as much of every single run as we can.
It's going to take longer than 1 minute 15 seconds to get down here, because the fastest time on this course last year was set by the winning male, 1 minute 47.52.
And that's an average speed of well over 60 kilometres an hour on the course.
Snow.
Now carrying lots of speed as such over that drop off, over that jump, just kicking her up in the air. She comes back down. You've got a good indication. The lines that go across the track give a real indication, because it's so difficult to see the course because it is that white snow. The blue lines give the riders a place of reference. They give an indication of the slope as well. You have to go through the gates. The blue lines give you an indication where to run. Heading down into the lower slopes now, through split 1 in 30.92, through split 2 in 1 minute 30.81. All goes well wide here, has to correct. Will that cost her? That is going to take her time. She crosses the line, her time 2 minutes 14.09. The defending champion is down. She could do no more. It's 1 run each. She set the marker and the time for the rest of the race field to beat.
Oh, she has indeed. 2:14.09 is indeed the time to beat, as Morgane Such by being the first rider down, first rider in the hot seat.
Indeed she is. Now our riders just lining up for their run to go clear and to set off. It's going to be Lisa Baumann, the next rider to start from Switzerland, rider with that number 2 plate.
Well, Baumann goes out of the start hut. Now 5th in the mountain bike downhill World Championships in 2024. She is currently the snowbike dual slalom world champion, as well as the European downhill champion for 2024 as well. Many titles and many podiums for Lisa Baumann in 2024. Can she start 2025 off the same way?
So Baumann in the red and white of Switzerland as we just track another of our riders just down on course. We're looking for Baumann out on course. Remember, these riders overlapping out on the course here today, making sure that you get this run nailed. Absolutely critical. Those are the pictures of Veronica Widman that we've just seen. We will get back. Baumann is down in through the finish. She's absolutely rocketed down here by the look of it, because we can just see she's gone down over the finishing line. Her split, fastest time in split 1, 30.79. Fastest in split 2, 1 minute 27.73. She continued that onwards and took the fastest time, 2 minutes 7 seconds, 0.29 of a second. Leader in the house now, Lisa Baumann, defending champion, has been deposed.
Oh, yes, you're quite right, Morgane. Such shifts to second place as Baumann goes into first. Veronica Widman from Italy, the rider in the start pen at the moment.
So Widman, a regular on the downhill circuit, one of the really strong riders, always great to watch. Let's see what she does out from the pen. This is just her a little earlier. She's been a part way down this run. Let's see her head out from the pen. How strong a start can she make here in Châtel? Away she goes, and we're going to catch up with her lower down on the run. Widman split 1. It was going through 32.68. It was a 1:36 at split 2. She goes in over the line here. Widman's time a 2:21.05. Not strong enough to challenge Baumann. Not strong enough to challenge Such.
Well, Vidman may have been 5 times Italian downhill champion on the slopes today in the snow in Châtel. She is going to sit currently in 3rd place. The next rider out of the pen, however, Yolanda Kiener from Switzerland, is indeed the rider on the road at the moment. She was 3rd in the dual slalom last year. She was indeed one of the riders who was here. She was 3rd in the Swiss Downhill National Championships last year as well. It's going to be interesting to see what she can do.
It is. So kind of already down on those slopes. So 35.9 first split, the second split, a 1:41.41. What can kind of do in at the finish? We'll bring you that time as we see her come through. Here we go, taking that right-hand turn here. This is the finish for Kiner, and the time of Baumann has gone. It shows you how strong that time for Baumann was. She rocketed it down so fast, we hardly saw her on course. We see what is a 4th place position at the moment, with plenty more riders to come for Kiner as she goes in and through over the line.
Well, Elise Porter is the next rider in the start hut, awaiting her turn. It's a great ride as well from the rider out on course. Now, let's just take a look. Actually, we're not looking at Elise Porter at the moment. We're actually looking at the Austrian rider, and that is Elke Rabeder.
Okay, so just waiting for the start commissaires and the start team to get them ready. You can just see the jacket just being pulled over there to keep warm. And the riders have warmed up. They've all tried to get themselves as warm as they can. It's a very physical discipline, because whilst you may be not doing these big jumps and drop-offs like you might see in downhill, it is all about making sure that you get positioned correctly on the bike, and that takes strength to hold that position around those turns. So at the moment, Rabeder in the start hut, just waiting to go down onto those slopes.
Well, while she is waiting, Rabeder, 2 times Austrian downhill champion, and it's going to be interesting to see what she can do here today on the snow. Just putting the goggles on, getting ready to go. Last-minute adjustments before she takes the start.
So Elise Porter, the rider sandwich between Kiner, and Rabeder. We're going to see if we get an update on her on the course. It may well be that she's had an issue on course and is not going to make it in and through the line. So Rabeder, at the moment, the rider in the start hut. The countdown is on. You can see the clock on the right-hand side, about 55 seconds or so before she's allowed to head off down on to the course. And news coming through that Elise Porter has been disqualified for going outside the gates. So not going to figure in the overall standings at the end of today. So Rabeder, the 6th of our riders to take to the start line, prepped and ready. Mindset is going to be critical here. It's a long wait. She's had to make sure that she's absolutely keyed up to go, because she knows that the next 2 minutes are going to be critical. It could decide the outcome of the medals. Will she be there able to take a jersey? We're just taking a little bit of a look back here. This looks like this is Elise Porter now on her way down through the bottom of the slope. So she crosses the line but disqualified as away goes Rabeder.
She is out of the start pen now and up to pace and up to speed. That momentum absolutely key, and it is rolling now. As you mentioned, 2 times Austrian downhill champ Rabeder, so it is going to be a fast and furious. Now, Matt, did you know that the fastest times on a bike set on snow?
Yeah, I have to admit, yes, because I've seen some amazing YouTube videos of our riders. They go quicker than our riders are here, but they don't have to negotiate the gates, the drops, the turns, the cameras. It's just straight down those slopes. Rabeder at the moment on a good time here, in touch, 2.99 of a second out. And going through that split, what will she do as she moves down? 45 seconds of riding, a little bit of a shake there. And you can see when the riders hit any of those ruts, any of the changes that come, that then makes it different. Riders coming down, foot out to stabilise, to get that centre of gravity over. You can see the bike shifting underneath, and when you run wide and you go into less groomed slope, all the slope is groomed, it's not naturally like this, but it's more groomed between the blue lines, so that's where it's its fastest. Go outside that, you'll see those plumes of snow coming up behind. The skiers behind are there to basically eliminate the tracks of the rider that's gone down and then reset it as close as they can before the next rider comes down following. We're at intermediate 2. We've gone past intermediate 1. Intermediate 1, we saw that she was down by 2.99 of a second. What will it be? The time is ticking here. 10 seconds gone by now. Rabeder goes through 10.71 down. The lower slopes are to come. You can make back time here.
Well, you can do indeed, and Baumann did indeed make back time on Such on the lower slopes at split 1. It was fractions, and I mean fractions of a second between those two riders. 0.2 of a second at intermediate 1, but then it opened up significantly at intermediate 2, and then even between intermediate 2 and the finish line, Baumann still making time on this course, so it is possible.
It certainly is. Into this last jump over the go, keeping it low, getting the grip as soon as possible, engages some traction here. She puts a couple of pedal strokes in. That will have got her a little bit of time back, goes through into 4th position at the moment, just outside of provisional medal place. 16.03 seconds down on that phenomenal time of 2 minutes 7 seconds by Lisa Baumann.
Well, Vicky Clavel goes out of the start pen as the French rider on course now. Clavel, 5th in the French Downhill Championships in 2024, 24th in the World Downhill Championships. She's got some form, she's got some pedigree. What will she do on course today? Coming up through split number 2.
Well, just at split number 1, we saw her go in through 32.31. She was in touch. What can she do as she goes through split 2, down into was a finish. Clavel has to keep on pushing here. Time is going to be close. She's going to be outside the time of the leader, but how close can she get? She goes into 2nd place. 2 seconds, 2.42 seconds, the difference between 1st and 2nd place. So at the moment, that gives Baumann the lead. It gives Clavel 2nd place, and at the moment, it's Morgan Such who's currently in 3rd position as Emmy Grandouillet of France hits the slopes.
Oh, she does indeed. One of the young riders here, 4th in the European Downhill Championships, and really, really strong. But fabulous to see the younger riders coming through and into the snow bikes as well.
Indeed, such a new discipline, only the 2nd year of competition here at the World Championships. That was the 1st year held in Châtel on a 2-day program. This is a 1-day program with the Super G in the morning and the dual slalom in the afternoon. The top riders going through, and they're ranked on their performance here in the Super G when it comes to that dual slalom competition that will be held underneath the floodlights. Grandouillet at the moment heading down, going through split 1, 35.36 seconds. Split 2, 1 minute 43.97. She's got to continue to push here on the way down into the finish, because this is going to be key. Can she make up a little bit more time, pull that position back? She'll want a better gridding. You find that the worst rider in the round on time that qualifies is up against the best rider when we go into that dual slalom, and that means that this positioning is key. You don't want to be up against the favourite. If you go through the better position you get, the least likely you are to be up against them. Grandouillet goes in and through as we back up to the top of the start hub.
Well, we are indeed, and this time round it's the German rider Anja Lechthaler who is now out of the start pen.
So Lechthaler onto the slopes. We're already down at split number 2. So we see her making her way down in. That clock is ticking. You can see already that time has gone by 10 seconds and more here as Lechthaler, the German rider, dropping down at the moment. A 41.72, losing about 10 seconds, 11 seconds now nearly, on the very first run. One of our most experienced competitors in terms of riding mountain bikes, in terms of riding. However, at the moment, on the way down here, that experience needs to be replaced with some speed. 38 seconds down, and you can just see going to be squashing this down. She lands within a few bike lengths of that drop off, and it really is indicative of speed. The further you can fly, the further you're going to go, but the less control you have, because it's not easy steering in the air.
Oh, well, it isn't, and actually.
My excuse every time I crash.
You know, the fastest route is with the tyres on the floor, but Lechthaler is doing a good job here as she comes down and through. But this is a steady run from the German rider.
So the experienced German rider makes her way down through split 2 in 2 minutes and 5 seconds. What will she be when she comes down into the finish? These are the last few meters of the run. It will pick up pace as she goes down and in. Is she able to maximise her speed as she comes over the top here? If you land as short as she's just done, the key there is to then move the pace up to accelerate up, but you've got to keep control. It's so difficult as the conditions are changing. The temperature is warming up. 56.88 seconds down, that pushes her into 8th place, inside the top 10 at the moment.
Well, Michaela Parton from Great Britain is the next rider out of the start pen. The Scottish rider from Fort William, famous for its mountain biking. Second at the British Downhill Championships this year, 8th at the Europeans. How does she run on snow?
Well, she should have had plenty of practice. I've skied and I've ridden, not at the same time, at the top. And Michaela Parton, I think, absolutely nailing this run on the way down. We're going to take a look. I think she's through the finishing line here already. So what time has Parton done? I've just seen a rider come in through the turn there. We can see the skiers just coming down the slope who've been grooming the slope. Once the riders are in, we're waiting to see an update on the time. Parton at split 1 was 32.84 of a second behind. So I think Parton's time is just coming on our time screen. It's 2:21. That means that she's behind Baumann, Clavel, Such and Vidman, who've gone already.
Well, Zoe Fail, the next rider out of the start pen, the youngest rider in the competition today. You've got to be 17 years and older to compete in the Elite Championships, and one of the youngest riders here today.
And this is a good run. Look at the time. Look at the clock. She's in. She's got the finish in sight here. She's just outside Baumann's time. Can she challenge second place here? She pushes to the line. She goes into third place, but that means that she's just displaced Morgan Such out of the medals. The defending champion goes from hero to 4th place.
Well, the next rider out of the start hut is indeed Julie Darnett, the French rider. Darnett here, and well, she's straight up and onto those pedals coming out of that start hut, picking up as much momentum as possible to carry down the mountain.
It's such a balance between carrying speed, carrying momentum, and having the control around those turns. Darnett through the first split, 37.53 seconds, so not that far out of touch, by no means our slowest rider at that point. However, we're going to have to see what she does coming into split number 2. The clock is ticking away here, which means that she's losing time on our leader and on the rest of the riders here. And that may well be that middle section has just cost her 26.39 down at split number 2. Her time 1:54.12 seconds through that split. So here we go, down onto the slopes, and you can see she's got this descent down into the amphitheatre, finish down in Châtel. Still to go in through the spot. The left-hand turn, it goes into this compression where the riders are squeezed down on there. A lot of the riders running higher suspension pressures in the shocks in both the front and on the rear as well. So they're actually running a higher pressure because they're not, they're almost, it's not quite a rigid bike, but they are wanting to cope with the ripples a little bit more subtle than maybe you would get on a normal downhill style track. Darnett now, 2:41 the clock, it goes as she lands that jump. The finishing line is in sight. She comes to the apex, straightens out on the run down into the finish. 10th place at the moment, 40.41 down. Her time 2:47.7.
Well, the last rider in this elite women's race, Abigail Hoagie from the USA, is in the start hut at the moment. She's going to be the next rider away. 4-cross and downhill racer from the United States.
Well, four cross, shoulder to shoulder on one track. She's on her own at the moment. She needs to keep smooth and keep the speed rolling. The last rider to head off from the top of the hillside here. She's already heading down through split 2.
Well, she is indeed. And just a note to you viewers that the times these women set now on the Super G, as Matt alluded to earlier, are the gridding and qualifying for the dual slalom later today.
Yep, so their number will be replaced. The rider who takes victory will be rider number 1 going into the dual slalom right the way down. So if you're the second fastest time, you'll get plate number 2 going into the dual slalom. Third fastest, plate number 3, and so on. So that's renumbering, very similar to the renumbering that you get in the mountain bike eliminator, for example, where the riders are renumbered between their time trial qualifying time and into their elimination race. In that elimination race, it's 4 riders, 2 going through. In our dual slalom, funnily enough, it's 2 riders and 1 going through. Hoagie will be into the run. She makes her way down here, keeping that bike stable, just trying to keep control after the riders going through in front. She comes through into 12th place. World Championships experience. Tick, job done. Down to the bottom safely. Tick, job done. World Championship ride. Well done.
Well, our women's race, the Super G, the first race of the day today here at the 2025 UCI Snow Bike World Championships from Châtel in France. Lisa Baumann, second rider out of the pen today. Phenomenal run from Baumann, setting that time early doors, 2:07:29. Not beaten. Vicky Clavel came close. She was just short of that time. Zoe Fail, the young French rider, finishing in 3rd.
And I'm just taking a look at some of these times gaps on the way down. Baumann set the fastest time at split 1, split 2, and at the finish. So carrying momentum all the way down. But it's not true of Vicky Clavel and Zoe Fail. Clavel, only the 4th fastest time on split 1. Split 2, the 2nd fastest time, and that's where she finished. If you look at Zoe Fael, she had the 3rd fastest time. Then she went slower in the middle section to the 4th fastest time to split 2. But then she pulled it back to the 3rd fastest and took the bronze medal. It was so close.
Different parts of the course suiting different riders. Really, really interesting.
And where they make mistakes as well,
Yep.
which making a mistake on a mountain bike, it's normal. It certainly is for me and most mortals. It's mistakes for all of our riders. It's how you correct those. Lisa Baumann making the least, keeping the line smooth and carrying the speed through. Our confirmed results on your screen will be Zoe Fail taking away 3rd place and a bronze medal. Vicky Clavel taking 2nd place and a silver. Lisa Baumann will be receiving that rainbow jersey and the gold medal in our medal ceremonies. They will be happening after the men's race, men's Super G. You can see the timings they're running out. Our riders separated by 1 minute from top to bottom in the standings overall.
What made the difference today?
I don't know, I could train Lisa and it was really helpful. And to win today, it's
Another race later on today, double world champion maybe in a few hours from now.
why not? I will do my best.
Thank you.
Well, great to hear from our world champion there, the winner of the dual slalom last year, taking away victory here in the Super G. So she has potential here to make that 3 gold medals out of the potential 4 in 2 years. That is some going. We'll have to wait and find out. Before that, we have the conclusion of the Super G, which is our men's racing, a massive race field here. The defending champion taking to the start line first. He gets a pick of the cleanest slope.
Well, he does indeed. 49 riders on the start sheets today in this elite men's race. Pierre Thevenard, the defending champion from 2024, the first rider away. Now, no slouch on snow, this man. Top speed he's ever recorded on snow, on a snow bike, 165.9 kilometres an hour.
That is incredibly scary, because that
no
is
corners.
That's like 100 miles an hour.
No corners
in old
though.
school speed in Imperial. That is incredibly fast. The fastest time set. Do have a look if you want to see seriously scary speed. Well, it's done on the snow on those groomed slopes. Well, we'll see whether he can use that straight line speed here between the gates and around those change of directions over the jumps here and keep it spike side down rather than rubber side down. It's pretty much the same thing, I have to admit, but getting that grip is going to be critical. Lots of the riders with cameras expect to see lots of images now on social media and lots of these runs coming out. It is about fine margins. What can the defending champion do here today? It is time to find out. It's time to go racing in the men's race. First rider in the start gate. Time to go. Big sprint on the way down through gate one and through that turn there. Loads of power.
It was indeed, and Thevenard coming out of that start pen and really nailing that start and getting up to speed very, very quickly. Now, also a local rider, a rider
Okay.
living in Châtel, so he should know these slopes really, really well.
Look at the speed he's carrying over that jump there.
Well, I tell you, his winning time last year was 1 minute 47.52. Can he go quicker today?
First split time, he went through 26.13 of a second. He's absolutely rocketing down here. You can see he's always pushing it right out to the edge of the course there. That big plume of snow goes up. Let's see, he's going to be heading into split two very, very shortly indeed. The speed he's carrying down this mountainside at the moment here in Châtel, down on these lower slopes, coming down into the valley. The clock is ticking at the moment. He's going to come into sight. He'll go through that split point 2/3 of the way down the mountain. What time is he going to set there? He will obviously be the fastest man's time because he's the first rider away. Look how far he's travelling. Mark, that is so quick.
Well, he comes round the corner and heading towards the finish line. He is absolutely flying at the moment. He's got to keep it on course. He's got to get through those flags. He doesn't want a disqualification.
Oh, he's got to hold this tight. 1:14.45 his time at split two. Puts in the pedal strokes on the run into this jump, into the finish. Flies over the top, almost lands by the second of those blue lines. Took slow for speed over the line. 1:47.93.
Not quite as fast as last year, but I tell you something, that is absolutely setting a time for the rest of the field to beat.
Well, if this was a Jez Avery bunny hop competition, he has just set the bar at a very, very high height. But this is about the downhill, this is about speed, and this is about getting down to that mountainside as quick as he can. He's down there, he's in the finish, he now has to watch everybody else challenge his time.
Well, the next rider, Henry Kerr from Ireland, not taking to the start. So Vincent Toupin from France, the rider you can see in the start pen right now. Now, Toupin last year took third place in the Super G. He was 1.39 of a second back in third. Well, can he go better today? Can he make the top step of the podium?
The time to beat at split one, 26.13. 26.13 on your screen, 26.16.03. That is 3/100ths of a second down. Oh, he's all over the place on the bike, though. He's pushing it to the limit here. The bike is moving underneath. He's keeping it under control, and he doesn't look like those corrections are slowing him down at the moment. He takes a tight line. He goes to the edge, and you can see that snow plume comes again. Same place that we saw Pierre Thevenard pushing it to the absolute limit. The second French rider on course at the moment is throwing the kitchen sink and everything at this one.
Oh, he is indeed, and really is motoring right on the edge.
Well, it looks like our current leader, the first man down there on the mic.
Alors, on discutait avec Véronica et je lui disais, du
He's watching on. There's plenty of speed being carried at the top of this hillside by Vincent Toupin. What is Toupin going to do here? He's on through this section at pace. It's absolutely skipping across the snow at the moment. Real proper alpine skiing style, just gliding, carrying pace, carrying speed. He's gone through split 2. He's gone through split 2 in the fastest time. He's up. Will he make it to the line though? Can he carry the pace? He was up by fractions of a second. Look at the time. That's not fractions of a second anymore. 2 seconds, 0.39, the difference.
What a run on those lower slopes, that midsection and the lower slopes, suiting Vincent Toupin from France, setting the fastest time so far. The question is, will it hold?
Thomas Delita of France, third Frenchman, down on to the slopes here. He goes away from that start, makes his way down the hillside. He's going to have to pull something special out here at the moment. Just taking a check on his time, going through the first of our time checks, 28.12 down. It's not fast enough there, and not fast enough all the way down into our finish, I suspect, because he's lost time. He's got to keep the speed high here. So Delita working his way down this slope. He really has to carry pace. He's got to carry speed. He's down at split 1. He's down at split 2. He's currently got the third fastest time. The slowest of our riders so far, just drifting around that turn. The riders before just looking that little bit more pinned into this last jump. Here we go. Over the top, lands on the back wheel, not quite as smooth there on that landing. Goes through the line. The time, he goes into third place, but that is a big time gap. 9.2 seconds the gap as he goes over the finishing line. His time of 1:54.74.
Well, the next rider out of the start hut is Kevin Meilleur of France. Meilleur putting in a strong run and a strong start at the moment. One of the riders who was here last year, so coming back to the Snow Bike World Championships for the second time.
And he's just gone through our first time check. He is slightly slower than Thomas Delita, but it is only fractions of a second on split 1. But this time has opened up this middle section of the course, really starting to pull the gaps out. He's gone from fractions of a second to over 7 seconds down at split 2. The middle section here really starting to cause problems for the riders as they go through, losing time as he goes through. What can he do? Can he pull it out the end? Nice line, super tight through there, keeping it under control. He's coming into the finish. Bike just goes a little sideways there, just losing a little bit of speed. Lands that coming down. The line is coming. It's not coming quick enough. He's not going to challenge for a medal. He's in 4th place at the moment. So De Meyer goes through our 5th rider on the entry list, our 4th rider down in and through the finishing line.
And really interesting to see, you know, Toupin and Sevenard really on the pedals a lot more than these riders starting at the moment. Now, Baptiste Jaladieu from France, the next rider away. One of the younger riders on the start sheets today.
And age is certainly no barrier. Maybe it's the younger you are, the more you're prepared to throw yourself down the mountain. It's always scary following younger riders on any kind of mountain bike in pretty much any terrain. They're always quicker uphill usually, and pretty much always quicker downhill. You just don't bounce as well when you get older. Jaladieu, though, needs to make the most of his youngster's courage here, because he's going to need to really throw caution to the wind on this last section down at split 1. Down at split 2, I think, as well. The time is ticking here. You can see he's on his way around this left-hand turn. The time of Toupin has already gone. Jaladieu has got to keep pushing, though, because the gridding will be important when we come to the duel. Riders who are maybe favouring that 500-metre dual slalom course. It's going to come up tonight. The race starting at 6 o'clock tonight. Really do need to get a good position. 5th place.
Well, they do indeed, because 49 starters in the men's Super G today. Only 32 of them will progress to the dual slalom later. Well, Emilien Sapagi from France, the next rider away.
So Sapagi at the moment out on course, really needs to keep on pushing here into towards the finishing line. Jalado, we saw losing time on the way down. We've seen riders losing time in this middle section, and this time hemorrhaged away here. We're at 1:32 now, nearly 33, 18.56 seconds down. Where will he finish up? Remember, when we move on from the Super G into the dual slalom, riders, the slowest of the 30-second riders will go through, 32 riders through. Should we start that again? 32 riders going through. Of those 32 riders, the rider in 32nd place will go up against the rider in first place. 31st place rider will go up against second place rider. 30th place rider will go up against third place rider, and so on. The time gaps will come down between them. You want to be up against somebody that you can beat, or you've got a good chance. As he comes down, looks like he loses the guard of the bike there as he landed that in the finish. He comes through safely though, 6th place at the moment.
Yeah, it is indeed, and French rider putting in a solid run there, and it's going to be interesting to see where he finishes overall later. Well, the next rider out of the start pen, Swiss rider Stefan Peter.
So what can Stefan Peter do? He's going to be our next rider on to those slopes from Switzerland. And he can catch up with him partway down here. He's just dropping that front wheel in a little early there. Didn't come down both wheels at the same time. Has to keep control. Risky hitting that front wheel first. 1:35 on the descent going through the clock at the moment. So Stefan Peter, he went through 29.37 at split 1, 1:24.36 at split 2. He's heading for the finish now. This is the last chance to make back any kind of time. He's pushing it. Is he pushing it hard enough? Leans the bike over there. Doesn't get the foot out on the way through. Crouches low. Minimise the aerodynamic drag. There is regulations about what you can wear. You've got to wear the national jersey. You can't just go throw on a skin suit or an aero suit like those downhill speed skiers who go for the maximum record speed with aero fairings all around you. Not a bad run. Will it hold? Well, there's a lot more riders to come.
There are indeed, and the next rider in the start pen, well, the Frenchman Cedric Garcia is the rider in the start pen.
So we will see what Cedric can do on his way down here. So going to be making his way down. He's already, look at this, he's already heading into the bottom of the slopes here. We go from the top, bottom, back up to the top. We've got a track almost down to the bottom. So Grazia goes through. He's been pushing 27.31 in a touch on the descent. The third fastest time at split 1, third fastest time at split 2. He's lost time though, heading into the finish. He pushes it to the limit. Is it going to be another medal in the collection? It is at the moment. 5.72 seconds down, third place at the moment. He's now going to be in the most vulnerable position to have that position challenged.
Wow, well, you just wouldn't know he retired from World Cup downhill racing in 2013 with a run like that. Well, Jonathan Moret is the rider out on the course at the moment.
Well, Murray well on his way down this slope, already down in past split 1 in 29.22 of a second. We can just see the departure from the top of the hill as he heads down into the valley. This is going to come thick and fast at the moment. So we've got Grazia coming in and through the finish. Moret out on the slopes. The German rider Schafferhans also on the slopes. Moret though through split 1, through split 2.
Well, he is indeed. And Moret, a speed skier, not a bike racer. And now in terms of the speed skiing, he holds the Swiss speed skiing record, 250.8 kilometers an hour.
How many?
250.8 kilometers an hour on skis.
Well, he hasn't done that today, but he has put down a run that will see him move into 5th position at the moment. Top 5 holding at the moment for Moret. Will he be able to hold on to that? It's a good... Oh! And we've just seen A German rider there hit the floor on those upper slopes there. He's going to pick himself back up again. That was a big hit. I think that was our German rider, Tobias Schafferhans, who's hit the floor there. He's picked himself back up again. Will he make it down to the bottom? He stayed in between the gates there by the look of it, and that means that he can continue his run down. He has lost time. You can't hit the floor like that and not lose time. It is Schafferhans. 128 currently the split at split is 2, but that clock continues to tick. Schafferhans, he was in 39.96 at split 1. He comes to split 2 here. It's going to be down 27 seconds, and he's lost all that time, the vast majority anyway, because of that crash in that middle section. So Schafferhans at the moment just approaching 2 minutes for his run. He's back up and riding. He knows it's not going to be a medal-winning time. Can he get inside the top 32? Because, of course, that is a cut-off to move on to tonight's race in that dual slalom. And that is the race within the race. Get through with the best position that you can.
Well, he's going to have to wait until all of our riders have finished to see whether he gets in. But he is pushing it to the limit.
Oh, what he landed that on the back wheel, just went sideways. When you just don't get the landing quite right, you don't nail it. You know, it's supposed to be silky smooth on landing. Mine never is silky smooth. But when you get the back wheel like that, your heart is in your mouth. You're trying to hold it straight, trying to correct it. You know if it starts to really go, you're going to be whipped round and you can be flipped over the top. That is going to be a run he is going to remember. Full of incident. Not to be a winning run, but down in one piece. Wow, time to draw breath.
I know.
It's going to be thick and fast. We are making our way steadily in and through. We have had 11 riders down the slope with that non-starter Henry Kerr medalist from last year. As we go back out onto the slopes, I think this is Swiss rider Jules Toile, who is coming in to the finish at the moment. He's going to come over this jump here. It is. He's outside of 2 minutes, so he's looking. This is all about now for him getting inside those times top of 32. He's got 8th place at the moment. But the bad news for him, by my reckoning, we've still got something in the region of 30 riders to go.
Yeah, well, Jack Piercy from Great Britain, the next rider out of the start pen. He too raced last year, 7th in the British Downhill National Championships in 2024. He's out on the snow at the moment, and you can see this is intermediate 2. The time is ticking. The time of 2 p.m. 1:13.60, 1:24.62, 11 seconds back for Piercy.
Well, he's got to keep pushing here. He'll want to go through with the best time to give himself the best chance on that sprint down the slope a little bit later on. The riders being given the chance of some practice gates for that dual slalom to go and ride those in between this, the Super G and the dual that comes later. The Super G, though, for Great Britain, Jack Piercy at the moment round that right-hand turn, comes into the final jump here. Front wheel down first. He's got to keep it nailed out. The saddle puts in a few pedal strokes just to get that speed momentum driving again. 2:02.42 as he comes in across the line. Not going to be his day inside the top 5, I don't think.
Well, Mars Weber, the Swiss rider, the next rider out of the start, was indeed here last year, but races downhill and enduro, was 10th in the national downhill of Switzerland in 2024, 12th in the national enduro championships as well.
And at split 1, he's really close. Split 2, he's close as well. 4.24 seconds. This could challenge the riders in the top 3. Now, he's got to get through. To get a medal, he needs to beat 1 minute 51.26. That's the time to get a 3rd place in the competition at the moment. A 2nd place in the competition, he's got to beat a 1:47.93. So 1:51.26 and a 1:47.93 as he goes through. This is going to be tight. He's not going to get the 1:47. Can he move himself into 3rd place? The time is ticking away. The run is over, and it is not enough. He moves into 4th place. So good run there by Weber.
Yeah, it was indeed. Absolutely brilliant run, and really good to see the downhill and enduro rider giving it something special on the snow today.
So next Swiss rider up in the start house is Jules Lafay. Jules on the way out of that start hut. Bike just, it got squirrely. Just coming past gate number 1 there as he stepped down on the pedals. He had to correct this. What is Lafay going to do as he comes down towards split 2? At split 1 he was at 31.02, so not a bad time at split 1. That second intermediate time is going to be critical. He's got to keep on pushing if he is going to take a good time as he comes down in through towards the finish. We're looking for him now. Here comes the white sleeves, the red centre with the white cross on it of Switzerland. Lafay descends down, left-hand turn, back wheel just pushing outwards here. You can see the time has gone through of Tupa in the finish, the race winning time as he continues his way down here. So we're into that selection of making it through just like this is loose. The back end is all over the place here. And is this just the course starting to break up more and more as more and more riders are going down? We're starting to see the deterioration. We're starting to see the course ripped up. He goes over the final jump there. We just see the fenders coming off there, losing some of that fairing on the bike as he goes down. But not to be his day today as our next rider, Swiss rider, Marius Perridan, up at the start.
And away he goes out of the start pen on those pedals, picking up some momentum. And it's really interesting to watch the different riders to see how much pedaling they are doing on the slopes. Tupin and Thevenard riders in 1 and 2 at the moment. Very aggressive on those pedals. A number of these later riders, well, they have not been pedaling as much.
And that costs time. Momentum, as with all things cycling, is key. The less work you have to do, the better, the more you can put into actually accelerating rather than just trying to make time back. Once time has gone on the top of these slopes, very hard to pull back. Not impossible. You can pull back a few seconds at the most. You cannot pull back the sort of deficit that Perridan had up at the top of this hill. And as he's gone down, his second time split a 1:29.03. What time will he post at the finish? The clock ticks onwards. He's going to go well outside the 2-minute marker here, just inside of 2 minutes 10 seconds on the course, 24.43 down. He goes into 12th place with what is fast approaching. We're heading for the half riders out on course distance. We're not quite there yet, but it's not long.
Well, next Swiss rider out from the pen, Benoit Fellet. 6 World Championship downhill Masters golds.
So Masters is once you get into age categories, basically when you start to get that little bit older and that little bit more mature, shall we say. Will he be a fine wine or a great cheese, maturing and getting better? Well, 6 titles shows he's the best in his age category. What can he do up against the young guns here today? He's already down past split 2. He's coming down into the finish, and this is a very, very respectable time on his way down into the descent. The Masters age categories in 5-year age bands, so he's got them, even if he's run 6 together in a row, he's got them in at least 2 different age bands, those titles. He comes down into the finish. He goes over the line. Fellet goes through in 9th place. Emma, do you know what age category he is?
Yes, I do, because in 2023 he took silver in the 60 to 64 age category.
You're kidding me, 60 to 64?
Nope.
I'd quite like to be that fast when I was 20, never mind 60 to 64. Okay, back onto the slopes. Miguel Abrantes of Portugal on those slopes. I still can't get over 60 to 64. I say something. To be throwing yourself down the slopes like this.
You don't stop riding your mountain bike the older you get, you know.
I know how age is a state of mind and how many crashes you put together in your lifetime. I've got plenty of crashes and I don't have much state of mind left after all those bumps. But I'll tell you something, that is phenomenal riding. That is a real performance. I would love to see. I can think of a lot of Masters downhill riders and some of our greats, you know, some of the great downhill riders over the years. I'd love to see racing this and to throw it down here. Maybe we need a vintage age category with some real retro bikes just thrown in for a bit of fun. Okay, in with Abrantes coming through split 2 here for Portugal. 36 seconds down onto those pedals as he comes off that jump. certainly getting the power in, getting those pedal strokes in, takes a tighter line through there, minimising the distance. He can do that because he's not right on the absolute limit of grip there. Maybe pushing maybe that slightly wider line. Brantis starts to continue this lower section. This is where we see the run to the line. You see the two skiers behind just grooming that slope down. They'll be following in the tracks of Brantis, just wanting to make sure that this course is as close for each of these riders in between each of the runs. The temperature, though, is lifting from earlier on today. It's moving up to about 3 degrees at the moment. I know it doesn't sound very warm, but it definitely changes the snow condition as Brantis goes through 17th fastest in the finish, and his time he comes in and through, just taking him outside the top 17. So next up from Germany, Simon Maurer.
It is indeed downhill national champion in 2021 from Germany. So Maurer got some good downhill form.
Has he got the form today? He's got the pace. Look how far down he is already. Has he got the speed to take him in and through the finish? Just taking a quick look back at his splits, 30.5 in the first split, but as he comes to the finish, 13th place at the moment, 24 seconds. And we've seen a lot of riders coming through, Anna, in that sort of 20 to 25 second bracket, aren't we?
We are indeed.
That's the sort of the bulk of the riders. Then those exceptional rides early on.
Sub 2 minutes is a really good time at the moment.
So next rider, Stefan Dolder of Switzerland in the start hut, makes his way out from the gate and gets those pedal strokes in as the the chairlifts come up. He makes his way down. Those skiers in those chairlifts get a grandstand view of the riders on the course here in France. Sorry, for the Snow Bike Championships. I was just trying to find Dolder whilst talking simultaneously. Never easy. As Dolder makes his way in through at the moment, he is down at this stage 1:45 the time to beat, and he was almost at that time just after the intermediate split. So he isn't going to challenge for a top position. Will he get himself inside the top 32 riders here today? Will he be in with a chance of contesting the dual slalom? Oh, another slide out, just makes that correction. You could see that big plume of snow go back up as the bike starts to go sideways. Once it's rolling, you get that right, go off course, you see more of that snow come up. Or if you're getting the back wheel starting to scrub out, over the jump he goes. He's running down in towards the finish. It's going to be a 2:21 as he goes through 35 seconds down, 18th position.
Yeah, he is at the moment, and it's going to be interesting to see whether he stays inside that top 32 and qualifies for the dual slalom later. Kevin Mayer from France now out on course.
So Kevin Mayer drops it down in. We're going to see where he comes as he comes down on to this descent here. Let's see where he is in position. Let's see as he comes through the splits. He drops down here. He's out of the saddle there, and that is unusual. He's keeping his body weight back. It looks to me like maybe he's had a problem out on course here as Mayer goes down. So Kevin Mayer of France at the moment, 23rd rider on the start sheets. And that means he's our 22nd rider to start as we head down these into the lower slopes. 2:11 having ticked by at the moment. We're going to see what position he ends up in when he comes in and through the finish line. He looks to be cruising to me here. There's no pedal strokes going in. He styles it up. I think he's aware that has he had an issue, do you think?
Yeah, I think he's just come up on the screens as a disqualification going outside of the flags on course.
It's pretty much the only way you can get yourself disqualified. There's nobody else to bump and barge into. Anyone who tells you that cycling is a non-contact sport, well, they haven't watched some of the disciplines covered by the UCI. They certainly haven't watched full cross, that's for certain. As we see Thibaut Lally on the descent, kicking out from the start here for France. Lally, one of the fast riders. Will he be able to put his skills to use here today? He sets off midway through our race field. The clock is ticking, though, down at the finish at the moment as it comes into the final right-hand turn before the jump here, carrying speed through. Over the top he goes. He lands it smoothly, though, quickly down into that tuck position. Elbows out, keeping control, 12th place at the moment, and that is starting to look more secure as you come down into the finish.
The time set by Vincent Tuppin, 1 minute 45, I don't think anybody can get near it.
I wouldn't argue with you because it was so. I know that's unusual in the commentary box, but I wouldn't argue with just because of the pace and the speed. But you never know. You only need one of these riders to pull out a real surprise, because after the ranking being set for the gridding for this, after their ranking from previous World Championships, if they haven't reached the previous World Championship, then these riders are drawing lots for position. And the problem could be for somebody, they're a super fast rider setting off later. Luthi at the moment not going to be challenging top spot as he drops down here for Switzerland, just a little bit outside of the pace at the moment, and this is going to be about making sure that he carries as much speed into the finish and in and across the line. 150 goes by, time is running out, and this will be interesting. Where will he end up on those standings? 32 riders going through. It may be that we are seeing a little bit more secure. That mushy snow that you try and build snowmen on, off and fall down, well, that's where the medals were to start off with. It's starting to firm up into the sort of thing. You've almost reached some solid snow conditions. They're not on prime piste yet, because to get those medals solidified, they need to know that nobody else is coming down, because that could be an upset that could happen. Jojo Pala of Hungary, next rider on to this big descent on the rundown here. He's through the first of our splits at the moment. I think 31.97 his time through there.
Yeah, so Pala was indeed 8th in the Downhill National Championships in Hungary in 2023. So a downhill racer at heart, downhill on snow at the moment. Well, Pala now coming through towards the finish. He's outside of the time of Vincent Tuppin of France. He's going to take the corner, over the jump and into the finish arena, but his time is not going to put him on the podium today.
So at the moment, it is Tuppin from Thevenard, from Grazia. There you 1, 2, 3. Then it's Weber, Delita, More, Meyer, Piercy. And then it's going to be, I think, Fele as our next rider lines up.
Luca Thurlow from Great Britain exits the start hut. Now, GB Enduro National Championships 2024. He took 3rd place in that competition, took 8th in the GB National Downhill Champs, but was indeed 4th at the Mont Saint Anne Junior Downhill World Cup.
And at the split number 2, he's 7 seconds down. He is in touch. Now, Thurlow needs to come inside the top 10 to be guaranteed a top 32 position, because we have 21 riders after him. He needs basically to be aiming at a top 10 here to go through. He's not going to challenge the time for a medal, I don't think, at the moment. He's on this drop down. He's on a good time, though, here. This could put him inside the top 10. Carries plenty of pace. Look how fast he's onto the pedals, though, as he comes screaming in through the finish. 7th place. Great ride there. 11.2 seconds down.
Fabulous run from the young rider from Great Britain. Thurlow doing the business and looking like he's going to come away with a great position at the World Championships today.
So our next rider, Loris Ravelli of Italy, leaves the start hut here in Châtel in France. So quickly onto those pedals, sits down, keeps that centre of gravity low, saving some of his strength and energy for the mid-section. On his way down here, what time will he post through split number 2? This is the critical split. You can be in touch at 1, you can be out of touch and in a different time zone in 2. He goes through 11 seconds down at the moment. That's not bad.
Well,
at split 2.
Well, I can tell you, he's many top 10s, numerous top 10s at the Downhill World Cup rounds. He really should be able to pull something out of the bag.
Let's see what he can do. Can he get himself inside the top. He's going to need about top 12 position here at the moment on his way down, with 20 riders coming behind him to move it through. I don't think he's going to challenge for a medal. He's definitely not going to challenge for a medal, but can he now get himself in with the chance of taking a medal this afternoon? He needs to keep pushing. He comes to the line, 10th place. That should see him going through inside the top 32 positions.
Well, back up to the start, Leo Grizel from France is the next rider away. 16th in the European Downhill Champs last year.
16th in the European Downhills. What can he do today? Top 16? Well, it's certainly a possibility here today. It shows he's got form. Look at the clock ticking away. How many seconds is he going to lose? He's not losing many. 3.74. That means he's in touch. Can he make it up? He's right on the limits of the course here. Foot out, flat out. Look at this. A wide line into the apex, carrying speed. Can he drive through this? What's he going to do on these last few sections? This is going to be critical. Just skips his way. Oh, skips his way over. Hits a compression there. Keeps control. The upper body strength there. You can see that thud as he hit it. He's maybe lost a fraction of time, a little bit of speed here. Over the jump he goes. Carries plenty of pace into the second of those lines. He's down, took low. He comes through 5th place. Great ride by Grizel there after setting off 28th rider onto the slopes, goes into 5th position.
Absolutely brilliant run from the French rider. Second rider from Portugal, Carlos David Freire Martins, is the next rider away.
He is. He's our 19th to last rider. There's today's what could be a random fact, but it's not, because it's all about making sure you get into those top 32 if you want to be in with a chance of fighting for a medal in the duel. And some of our riders are more suited to the duel race than they are to the Super G. At the moment, I think Martin's focusing on getting down this slope in one piece. I'm with him. I think even on skis or a snowboard, I think I'd be struggling to get to the bottom of this. Maybe a toboggan might give me a better chance, I have to say. At the moment, Freire Martins keeping it safe, keeping it smooth. He's on his way towards split number 2. You can see he's not going to challenge for a medal, but staying inside the gates is key. You do not want to get disqualified, obviously, because then whatever time you put in is not going to count. At the moment, he was 5 seconds down at split number 1, but split number by split to that gap had definitely increased. Will it be enough for Carlos Freire Martins to get inside the top 32 riders? He's got to get down inside probably the top 13. I think that is out of touch now, because the riders are packed in 20-25 seconds down. You've got a whole host of riders in there. Up over the jump he goes, keeps it smooth as he comes in through. Pumping that bike, just trying to get a little bit of speed out of it without pedaling. 47 seconds down, 25th place.
Oh, he is indeed, and great run. But the next rider away, the German rider, Julian Steiner, is in the pen and waiting to go. Now, Steiner third in the German National Downhill Championships in 2024. The downhill racer is away on the snow.
So going to be key, how much pace. Look how far down the slope he is. He's on a good ride here. That's for certain. He's going to come into sight here, going over the jump here. Steiner is on his way down. The clock is ticking. He's over the final jump. He's coming into the end of the run here. This is going to be a good result for him. Where's he going to come in? He comes in 8th position. 8th position. That was an unlucky draw for him, because I think he would have been further up if he wasn't the rider coming off just outside the first 30 riders. Okay, next rider down. This is Kilian van Ruysel of Belgium, making his way onto the course. 17th to last rider.
Yeah, he is indeed, and the only Belgian rider, I think, in the field.
He is.
Yes.
Indeed. Yes, just doing a double check. He is our only Belgian representative. It's a bit different from the cyclocross last weekend. Do make sure you catch up with all of the cycling disciplines, whatever discipline you're into. We all love to ride lots of different bikes. I'm sure even if you're a mountain biker and you're a pure mountain biker, you might have an enduro bike, you might have a cross-country bike, you might have a downhill bike, you might have a fat bike. All those different bikes. Riding lots of different bikes gives you lots of different fun. It's all about riding, enjoying you're racing, you're riding, whether it's racing your mates or you're out on the slopes. Let us know if you've been out racing your mates out on the snow slopes. You never know. If you live in the mountains, you might even be able to set up your own little run. That'd be great to see. As we see Van Roysel come down, he's not going to challenge the top 10. He goes just outside 11th place, 11 seconds down.
Yeah, sub 2 minutes, a really good target on this course. Giannata Livorati is the next rider away, and just a bit of a stall there in the start pen, not coming out at a strong pace.
And that time, once you lose that, it's so difficult to make the timing back. You've really got to push all the way from top to bottom. Let's keep an eye on him as he comes down. We're just looking down the slopes here for him making his way into sight. As we see the skiers coming down behind. We're looking for Livorti here. Here he comes. 1:29 his time as he goes in through that split. Left-hand turn here, back wheel sliding out. He goes wide, left foot out, stabilisation. Moving that centre of gravity inwards. Very quickly down. Over this little rise, just compressing the bike, just making sure he doesn't get thrown in the air, keeps the grip. He knows he's got, with this cambered slope, with it dropping away off camber, away from him, he needs to keep this smooth. Into the right-hand turn he goes. The Italian colours here over the jump, lands it. Pedal strokes in, still got the energy, kicks on down. In over the line he goes, 22nd position for Giannata Livorti. Good. Next rider up in the start pen, ready to go.
Well, the next rider up in the start pen, ready to go, is Florian Ray-Mermet from Switzerland.
So Florian Ray-Mermet onto the course, kicking out from that corner, already down into the mid-section here. He's got to keep the speed high, he's got to keep the pace rolling. How time is he going to get at split number 2? So Ray-Mermet continues to push here. His first split, 33.41. He was down a little bit. He's down more now, 18.49 down, 132 his time through that split. And that means he's really going to struggle now. It is about qualification. It is about being top 32 now for these riders. If they're not in the hunt for a medal, then it's about getting a great position for that dual slalom to come this afternoon. So Ray-Mermet at the moment on the descent. Can Florian keep it together? Right foot out, puts the foot on the pedal, puts the foot down, puts it back up again. Back wheel goes slightly sideways in the air. Great correction. Down in towards the line he comes. 2:12.36, so 2 minutes 12.36 seconds. He slides that back wheel out and around.
Well, the next rider out of the start pen, one of our Portuguese riders, Pedro Fernandes, heading out of the start.
So Pedro Fernandes, our next rider to make his way down on to the slopes.
He is indeed fourth in the Portuguese National Downhill Championships in 2024. Fernandes, you can see, hesitant in the snow at the moment, sideways around that corner.
Yep, he's got to keep this rubber side down or spike side down. He's got to make sure that he carries as much speed as he can. You can see that time is ticking onwards. It's about making sure you stay safe and get down and record a time in through the finish. We're going to have to see where he's going to come because the clock is ticking on here, and that is costing him time. It's a fair way from Portugal to the Alps. You are in the Iberian Peninsula. You are on mainland Europe, so you do have access to the Pyrenees. They're in between the Alps and Portugal.
It does snow sometimes in the high mountains in Portugal, you know.
It's not going to be all that often, though, is it, compared to the amount of snow you get in Châtel in the Alps. So Fernandes kicking on. He's putting in a great run here. And, just a little correction. The bike stepped out. He held it together, kept that front end heading in the right direction and keeps heading down in towards our final jump here. Over the top he goes, 2:30, just ticking past as it goes in over that jump. He's going to be making his way down in over the line, 30th position. I think it's going to be difficult for him to qualify.
Next rider out of the start pen, Antoine Rogue from France. Multiple podiums in the Enduro World Series. Should be a quick run.
He's certainly looking quick as he comes around that left-hand turn. He's down in towards the lower slopes already. Coming into the last jump. Here he comes over the top. Oh, he lands in front wheel. Oh, no, he's lost the tire. The insert has gone. He's holding it on the rim. Has he made it? Oh, he holds it together. I don't think he made it. Did he make it through the gate?
No, so
No.
that is going to be a disqualification, and I'll tell you something, Rock's going to be really upset with that. 12 seconds back he was on Vincent Tupin's leading time. He would have made the dual slalom as well as having a great finish time today here in the Super G at the UCI 2025 Snow Bike World Championships, but it's not to be.
It's not, and that is how fast it can change. Great run to nothing in the blink of an eye. Andreas Kolb on his way down here. What can Kolb do on the slopes here from Switzerland?
Well, this looks like a good run at the moment.
Certainly looking like he's already heading down through underneath the trees of that little riser, that little bit of a double if you hit it hard enough, but most of the riders squishing that down, squashing it out, making sure that they keep the grip. Kolb coming down in towards that last jump. Can he make it over in one piece? Over the top. He lands it from wheel first, but saves it there. Wheel not going sideways and ripping the tyre off. He goes through. 9 seconds down. Great ride. 7th position. That is a great run, starting so late in the day.
It is indeed. And Raphael Pelletier is the next rider from France out of the pen.
So here we go. Raphael Pelletier kicks down and just starts to build speed. He's got to keep building pace, building speed, and really start to generate that momentum.
Well, he has indeed. And top 10 results in the Junior Downhill World Cups through 2024. What can the young rider do? Not looking as comfortable on snow.
Well, yeah, it's just that transfer. You know what it's like. I mean, even on a road bike, let's say you're a roadie or a trackie and you ride on a wooden velodrome, and then maybe a concrete track outdoors or a grass track, that makes a massive difference. The same when you're riding on a mountain bike and you are not riding on snow. Put yourself on snow. The transition, even just within this run, between the softer snowy areas, the hard pack areas and the icy areas are changing. Of course, as the temperature raises, there's less and less ice. It's a very different beastie as you go down. Those same core transferable skills are there, but it takes time to build that experience. That may well be why we're seeing riders who are maybe just that bit older, still able to battle it out, fight it out up at the front of the race. So 2 minutes and 8 seconds takes up by 2:10 now as he takes the left-hand turn. This will give him his view down into the finish arena and a view of that finishing line round the long sweeping right-hand bend. Goes Pelletier here in France in the run to the finish here at Châtel in the Alps. Left turn, drops down over the line, 30th place up for Pelletier as it stands at the moment.
Well, he's going to have to hope that he makes the dual slalom with that time and that place. Chris Donnet, the next rider out on course from Switzerland.
So Donnet goes through split number 2, 17.59 seconds down. Our 10th to last rider due to start here today. Donnet comes wide around that turn, carrying pace, carrying speed. Looking smooth here today, but is smooth fast enough? Has he pushed it enough to that ragged edge? The time takes by here. Remember, this is about getting now not just your position in the Super G, but also your gridding position. Who are you going to be up against when it comes to that duel? Can you make the time cut? Donnet needs to come through, make his way through. He's going to be close, 26th at the moment. 10 riders to come, 8 places between him and not being in that duel.
Well, Baptiste Piron from France, the next rider out of the pen, downhill racer, European champion back in 2019, took 3rd place in that same competition in 2023. He's out on the snow. What can he do? This is good, Matt. Intermediate 2, 9.83 seconds down.
He's really pushing here. This is a fast run. We saw a few seconds of split 1 can make a bit of a difference, but he's still in touch. He's still within 10 seconds at split 2. He's carrying plenty of pace here. Look how quick he is. Quickly down low on the bike. Shifts his center of gravity across. Puts the weight down on that outside foot. Flip-flopping from one side to the other here. Carrying pace around this turn and in. He's coming in hot here. This is good. He's going to take the jump. Lands it back wheel first down. Safely down. Tuck slow. What's his time going to be inside the top 50? Oh, he is. 13th position, 16.1 seconds down. Great ride there. Top 15 ride.
Well, the French squad, 15 riders from France taking part in the Super G today. Felix Schobel from Austria, the next rider out of the pen.
So Châtel, 8th to last rider to hit the slopes here at Châtel in the Haute-Savoie region. Big kick off from that start, keeps it smooth. Nice line taken in between the gates on the first gate section. Great to see so many people down here watching the racing, watching what is a very new part of mountain biking here today, and seeing the birth of one of our new parts of the sport, which is great to see. Always great to see people trying something different and exploring what you can do. You know, if it wasn't for the first people riding down Repack, we wouldn't have mountain biking today. So, you know, is this another of our trailblazing mountain biking, always pushing the boundaries of what is possible on a bike, whether that is trials, whether that is downhill, cross country. It really is great to see people out and racing. Now, we're just going to take a run back up to the top of the hill at the moment, as we can see our next Swiss rider here, Loris Schapper, just in the start here. So Felix Schobel at the moment, not showing on our screens. It was showing a time for him, but Schapper's going to be the next rider we follow down the course.
He is indeed. So Schapper from Switzerland, Loris Schapper, the rider out of the start pen and away. Oh, slide out the pen.
Well, you can't afford to lose traction, but he gets back up to speed quickly here. Schapper with that wheel just sliding. You really need that drive. You need that engagement. You need to get the pace right. We're looking for him coming into this left-hand bank turn, the berm there, built into the snow to flick the riders round to enable them to carry speed. In he comes. Goes in through, goes wide on the exit. How did he hold that? He came in tight, he went out wide, he went outside the blue lines. He held it though, landing sideways. Good control by Schapper here, showing off those skills. Really is throwing everything at this. There was no going in wide and coming out tight. That was quite the reverse there.
Well, Schapper, the rider from Switzerland, third in the Swiss Junior National Downhill Championships in 2024, goes wide again.
Oh, look at him holding it. He's got to keep control. That was some recovery. He was all over the place. He's losing time. He's absolutely hemorrhaging, because the moment you go sideways, you're effectively breaking down the slope there. But he's kept it together. He's reset his head. Take a look at this. He's right out of the main line there. He's outside the blue line. Lots of riders have done that. You can see the deterioration of the line, but he's right off. You know, if he was playing golf, he wouldn't just be in the rough. I think he'd be outside the golf course there.
Well, he may well be outside the golf course, but he's 14.3 seconds down at intermediate 2. It's a question of what could be for this rider.
I think it could. I mean, he's lost so much time with those mistakes, but that is the nature of biking. We all make mistakes on the bike. We all make mistakes when we're under pressure. You add those two together, you've got to perform. This is the World Championship of a snow bike. It's a brand new discipline. It's your chance to get your name in the history books. It's your chance to see where you are and what you're going to be able to do in the future as well as we move forward. Schapper here puts in a couple of quick pedal strokes right down over that stem, goes over the line, 18th position. That is a great ride considering that error on that turn and into the deeper snow.
Well, the next rider on the start sheet's the Austrian Fabian Reifmeyer, not taking to the start today. So it will be Cedric Telfer from France who we see next in the start hut.
So that means we have 5 riders left to go. Fifth to last rider is Cedric Châtel. What can he do here today? The French having a good day out so far. What are they going to make of the rest of the day? As we see our last riders come down in our last 5 riders. 2 riders from France, 2 from Austria, and 1 Brazilian to round out the racing here today. Telfer heading down in towards intermediate split point number 2 between the first split point and the second split point, the midsection of this course, the middle third, just drifting it wide, left foot out there, keeping control, keeping the pace on the bike there. Real cycle speedway style around that corner and drifting that back wheel out. He wants to carry speed, wants to carry momentum. Left turn coming. This is the section down into what's like. He goes outside the lines again here. Puts in a few more pedal strokes. Big, long, sweeping right.
Outside the line is fine. Outside the flag isn't. He's inside the flags on the run into the finish line. Over the line, 31st place. For the French rider, it's going to be close to see whether he qualifies for that dual slalom later.
So our next rider away to be Falkenberger of Austria. Back wheel goes all over, out to the right-hand side there. It is getting really difficult to keep traction and keep that line smooth as you come away from the start area at the moment. So what can Falkenberger do? He's on the way down the slope at the moment. His first time split at 33.36. It's a good time, but I think Falkenberger with issues midway down here. We're just watching for him to come back into sight. Falkenberger, great first split. Where is he going to appear? What is this time going to be as he comes down in towards our finish? Here he comes, left-hand turn. And I think this is going to cost him a bit of time here. You can see the skiers behind just grooming that slope down behind him as he comes into the last jump. Back wheel down, front wheel down, then to low, resets, repositions part way round. 33rd place, definitely not going to be in the duel tonight, but we still have riders to go.
We do, and this is the last of the 15 French riders out of the pen in the elite men's category. Lucas Frigo down the mountain.
So Lucas Frigo, the last rider from France, already heading down to awards split number 2. He's going to be making his way into sight very shortly. Indeed, that clock continues to tick onwards as we approach 1 minute 30. He goes through 16.49 seconds down. Now remember, there's a big raft of riders in that 20 to 25 second marker. So this is a good ride here. He's inside that point, currently outside the winning time. Can he put in a performance that will see him inside the top 32? He's pushing well here at the moment. It's a good ride. Will it be good enough to stay inside the top 32? These riders battling the way down. You can see the deterioration at the edges of the course where riders have gone offline, where they have scrubbed out the blue, marking the groomed section of the track. Through the line he goes, 25th place. He will be going through because we have 2 more riders left to go up on the slopes. A little look back at his countryman here. Roger just holding it up on the back wheel, keeping that front rim just engaged with the ground. As our next rider out onto course is Julian Auer of Austria. Auer heading out on to course. The clock is ticking here at the moment. We're going to need to see how he's going to lower down the slope. So this is him heading out from the top of the slope here. So pretty smooth start. We'll see what he's doing a little bit lower down.
Well, he comes in from the jump and heads down the course, and you can see into the section of corners here. 39 gates, 26 changes of direction on this 1,915 metre long course today. The riders losing 600 metres of elevation from the top to the bottom.
And through the first split, he's going to be right on the edge here because 30th through the time split, I think, at the first split, and he's just lost a little bit more time. He's right on that cut-off point. He's, remember, 32 through. He's 30th at split 1, split 2. coming up. What position is he going to hold when he gets to split 2? It was at 30th position. He's going to go through split 2 very shortly indeed. The clock is ticking. We're going to watch him a little bit lower down here. Quick look around that left-hand turn. Got to keep his head up though. He needs to keep an eye on where he's heading. This is split 2. Through split 2 he goes. He's 22 seconds down. He goes through. Oh, he's gone from 30th to 33rd place at the moment. He's hovering round about the cutoff. Where will he finish at the end of the day? This is going to be key. Remember, there is still one rider left to go. He can push himself up. It's close around that cutoff point. Can he pull it out on these lower slopes? Our coming down. I put an ultimate rider here at the 2025 Snow Bike World Championships. Long right-hand turn. Can he carry the pace? Can he make it over this jumping tap? We've seen one rider eliminated there. We saw Rugg with that issue. A little bit of a reset. Pumps the bike just to carry as much speed as possible. Over the line he goes. 32nd place. It's all going to come down to what our last rider does. Last rider in the pits. Last rider out onto the slopes. Douglas Vieira of Brazil.
Douglas Vieira of Brazil leaves the start pen, the downhill champion of Brazil in 2023. Took second in that Brazilian National Championships in 2024 as well. A bit different, I would imagine, out on these slopes today.
Certainly a lot different, and we've seen some great riders, some great races from Brazil. Seen things like the XC World Cup and the XCC, the XCO coming from some great Brazilian courses not all that long ago. As Vieira comes down here showing off his skills, definitely nice tight left-hand turn. Remember, 32 riders to go through. He's going to want to be inside that. He'll look to take the best position he can because he won't want to be up against today's winner, which is the 32nd fastest qualifier will be. Hopefully he's going to be inside that top 30, inside maybe the top 25. Just takes that left-hand turn. Just watching him come down and through. He's making his way down into the lower slopes here. And as he came through the top there, Vieira had put in a good time. You know what? He's not doing a bad ride at all. 33.94 at the first split had him in 35th place. This is split number 2. What's he going to do? Has he managed to hold 35th place? Has he improved on that? He goes through. He's 15 seconds down. Now I make that he's going to come up. I think he's going right up inside the top 25 with that. That's subject to verification and checking. But I think this is going to be a phenomenal ride here by Vieira. He's pushing down hard. That midsection clearly really getting into his rhythm here. Carrying the momentum. Oh, big slide out and another. He's throwing everything at this. He knows this is his chance to come down and set a time that will carry him through. He's not going to be in touch with the race winners. Our medalists are secure, but this is going to be about getting into the finals. He doesn't just get in, he smashes the door wide open and goes through it. Wow. 22nd place.
Brilliant lower slope run there from the rider from Brazil, Vieira, but not challenging our winners today. So our podium today, Vincent Troupin will take the win and the gold medal today. 1 minute 45.54, 2:39 ahead of last year's winner Pierre Thevenard from France. Third place, Cédric Gracia from France as well. A three-man French podium, 1:51.26,
Voilà, quelle
5:72 back.
Bravo, nouveau champion du monde de snowbike en Super G. Qu'est-ce que vous ressentez après cette victoire?
Merci, ouais, très content. C'était beaucoup de plaisir. On adore rouler sur la neige, on est du coin, donc c'est vrai que c'est vraiment sympa de pouvoir faire ça à Châtel avec pas mal d'amis et grand plaisir.
Qu'est-ce qui a fait la différence aujourd'hui pour avoir ces secondes en plus contre Pierre?
Alors je pense qu'il fallait pas faire d'erreur aujourd'hui, j'en ai fait très peu, mais voilà, c'était un bon run.
Okay. Il reste encore une course ce soir, le duel. Qu'est-ce que vous souhaitez encore un titre, j'imagine?
Ouais, on va essayer de donner le meilleur de nous-mêmes. Encore ce soir, je sais qu'il y aura beaucoup de concurrence et ouais, il faudra être là, il faudra être présent.
Ok, félicitations encore. Bravo.
Merci.
Well, congratulations indeed to our race winner, our world champion, Vincent Tupin, who comes through with the fastest time and will be up on the podium stage to receive the gold medal and the iconic world champions jersey. Very happy to have taken the win, enjoying it racing here at home, and we're taking confidence into tonight's dual slalom that will be coming up at 1800 or 6 o'clock CET. You see the official results confirmed rolling through your screen. Remember the top 32 riders going through to tonight's dual slalom. All of these riders, though, with these results confirmed. And the commissaire team checking those before they are released. So Donnet comes in 30th place, and it'll be the next group which will show us who hasn't made the cut off through. And it looks like Jules Lafay, the last of those qualifiers. So 30 seconds, you have to be within 30 seconds of our race winner to go through to qualify into tonight's run. You can see I did not finish on Felix Schleubel. Then 3 disqualifications for going down the course, including Antoine Rogg, who held the bike upright but couldn't keep it between the flags. Great racing here today, Emma. Snowbike, second year of World Championships, second year of Super G, and the riders who were up at the top, what they showed that they were racing. I think they showed the skills because they've raced before a lot of the time. I mean, our world champion this time around, he was strong all the way down.
He was indeed, and he knew exactly what he wanted to do. And you can see, look at the kick out the start. Really, really big, long, hard driving section on that bike to get the momentum rolling.
And that momentum then carried down once you get that through. The similarity between this and alpine skiing, very, very evident. Build the momentum, build the speed. Once you start losing time, you're going to lose it everywhere. Really interesting. He came down here, and he didn't have the fastest first split. He was second at split 1, but then was in first place from split 2 down to the finish. So the mid and the lower section clearly suiting Vincent Tupin. The upper section suiting Pierre Thevenard, the defending champion.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be really interesting. They went neck and neck in the dual slalom last year. It's going to be interesting to see it again later as well.
Well, the traditional signing of the Santini jersey by the world champion. The marker pen is out. The world champions who are here today will be signing all of those jerseys, and of course he'll be pulling on a jersey, a world champions white jersey with those world championship bands that he will then be able to wear on his sleeves and on his neck, even when he's not a reigning champion, but he gets that for the year. Great to see him clearly enjoying taking away the win. And the women's race has been absolutely fantastic as well. Some great competition in that, and good to see some of our younger riders kicking themselves up onto the podium and displacing the defending champion.
Yeah, in fact, the defending champion from 2024, Morgane Such, finishing in 4th place today, with Lisa Baumann taking the title, 2 minutes 7 seconds at .29. Vicky Clavel in the silver medal position, and Zoe Fail coming through for 3rd place in one of the later runs.
Well, we just seen a rerun of Rogue just doing his amazing recovery. Whether or not that will be doing a Rogue, you get plenty of right things and attacks, different styles of riding being named after the riders as the riders make their way down the slopes here. Remember, of course, that the dual slalom uses a slightly different part of the slope, so it only uses the lower slopes here today. That will be on later today. I hope you'll be joining us for that. That is going to be at 6 o'clock CET. The riders going off in a knockout formula. So basically, 2 riders together, 1 rider going through in each round. We start off, and we'll use the men as an example, with 32 riders go down to 16, then down to 8, then down to 4, then into our finals for the last 2. The podium stage is ready. We're going to be kicking off our medal ceremonies for the women's Super G and the men's Super G very shortly indeed, where the medalists will be up on stage to receive their bronze, silver and gold medals, as well, of course, as that World Champions jersey. And always interesting to see the riders' reactions on that podium, whether they're happy, whether they're sad, whether they're smiling. And that's true, I think, of all the disciplines, from indoor cycling through to esports, through to downhill. You know, that is a reflection. And I think there's going to be some happy faces today, because we've got some, you know, we've got different riders in different places.
Well, and also the camaraderie amongst the riders out in Châtel has been absolutely fantastic to see, as Chupan just signs the jersey. But we saw that when they were warming up earlier as well. So all day being out here on the Snow Bike World Championships, the riders really taking the opportunity to get to know each other.
Indeed, and they come from such a myriad of backgrounds. From I mean, we've got skiers, we've got downhill mountain bikers, enduro mountain bikers. I think one of the things that's been very interesting to see is that there have been changes in position, and one of our medalists in the women's Super G is going to be up on that stage for the ceremony. Really does amplify that, because we will see Zoe Fayol up there taking the bronze medal, a rider who started as our 12th rider away down near towards the end of the field, making her way on to the podium very shortly indeed. A great ride by her. So we'll be heading across for the women's medal ceremony here at Châtel in the Haute-Savoie region of France very shortly. Do stick with us for that, and don't forget, of course, at the end of the medal ceremony we'll be heading off for a short break. We will be back at 6 o'clock tonight. I hope you will join us for that, and see what happens in our dual racing when the riders are under pressure. It's one thing performing when you're solo, it's another thing when you've got a rider next to you. You would know that, Emma, the regular mountain bike racer, and of course you've been on the podium nationally a number of times as well.
Well, I have to say the dual slalom later is going to be really interesting. It is a more technical discipline than the Super G, and those pairs of riders going head to head through those right and left turns through the marked gates, that pressure, I think, two-up racing, it can be a little bit more destabilising, I think, on the mental agility and resilience and determination of the riders, and a real pressure until you cross the finish line.
I think one of my favourite events that I've been on the microphone for was actually at the Malverns Classic for the dual slalom there, where we saw riders riding against each other to make their way up and through the resurfaced, revitalised Malverns Classic. Very interesting race format in the dual, and part of a whole host of different disciplines that they have there as well. Real festival of mountain biking.
And I think, you know, you were talking about earlier about the different backgrounds of the riders coming into the Snow Bike World Championships. Those who have a history of four-cross, I think, could do very well.
I think so. I mean, four-cross is fantastic to see. I mean, riders like Scott Beaumont is a great example. You know, he's a great BMX rider, he's a great four-cross rider. He's very handy on a bike as well, and we know that this is the sort of thing that he would excel. And it's that style of rider, I think, who can fight, who's prepared to fight, who's prepared to be cool and yet still be fired up by that very close competition.
Well, fired up by the close competition was indeed Vincent Chupan, and I think Pierre Thevenard as well in the men's competition is going to be really close.
So it's time for our medal ceremony for the women's Super G competition here at the UCI 2025 Snow Bike World Championships.
Ceremony of the 2025 UCI Snowbike World Championship in the Women Elite Super G, la cérémonie protocolaire des championnats du monde de snowbike UCI 2025 en Super G dames. The medals and jersey will be presented by. Les médailles et le maillot vont être remis par Monsieur Michel Callot, membre du trophées. The gifts will be presented by, les cadeaux seront remis par Monsieur le maire de Châtel, Monsieur Nicolas Rubin. In third place, and winner of the bronze medal, representing France à la troisième place, vainqueur de la médaille de bronze, représentant la France, Zoé Fayal.
A great ride by Zoé Fayal to take away third place and move herself on to the podium. That smile says it all.
In second place, winner of the silver medal representing France, la médaille d'argent représentant la France, Vicky Clavel.
Vicky Clavel, the second rider on the podium, either side of our race, a winner from France. Clavel taking away that silver medal, punches the air in delight.
First place, UCI World Champion, winner of the gold medal, representing Switzerland à la première place, championne du monde UCI, vainqueur de la médaille d'or, représentant la Suisse, Lisa Baumann.
So Lisa Baumann, the world champion for 2025, presented with her world champions jersey, the white jersey with the multicolour bands, the gold medal, taking away the win here today after taking the win in the dual slalom in 2024. She takes away the title as UCI World Champion for 2025.
Monsieur le maire de Châtel, Monsieur Nicolas Rubin.
So some fantastic trophies, the rainbow bars, the World Champions bands representing the course down the side of the slope here in Châtel. A fantastic set of trophies. Your top three here today. Zoé Fayal taking the bronze medal in third place. Vicky Clavel taking the silver medal in second place, both riders from France. Switzerland taking top spot with Lisa Baumann taking the race win, your UCI Snowbike Super G Women's World Champion.
Represent the national anthem of Switzerland, mesdames et messieurs. En l'honneur de notre nouvelle championne du monde UCI, nous vous présentons l'hymne national de la Suisse.
A fantastic race, Emma, in our women's Super G, and a real taster of what's to come this evening.
Oh yeah, the dual slalom is going to be really, really exciting. Much shorter courses, closer racing side by side. It's going to be interesting to see whether those riders on the podium in the Super G can replicate that form from the Super G into the dual slalom course tonight. Can't wait.
It's going to be a real crack. I do hope you'll join us. Will it be those three riders indeed? Or will it be three completely new ones? It is all down to what the riders can do on the super short course that is to come. Our world champion and the medalists make their way away from the stage. A great rider by Lisa Baumann, the Swiss national anthem being played in honour of our UCI world champion in the women's Super G snowbike here in Châtel in the Haute-Savoie in France. Great ride by her here today. Absolutely blistering at pace down the course, setting the fastest time at every single time split on her way to the race winner. Race winning time 2 minutes 7 seconds, .29. Just absolutely planted, super secure on the way down, pushed it to the limit, but not too far. And I think that was partly the key here, getting that balance just right, Emma.
Yeah, I think you are correct as the foot comes out and around the corner. It was a cracking run from Baumann, and she just got quicker and quicker.
That pace picking up as she came down into the finish, in under and through the finish line there, and set the time that was unbeaten. Second rider down the course, the eventual winner and world champion, Lisa Baumann. So we're going to move across over to the men's ceremony very shortly indeed, as we see those great images of our medalists on stage. It's going to be the men's medal ceremony next.
Ceremony of the 2025 UCI Snowbike World Championship of the Men Elite Super G, cérémonie protocolaire des championnats du monde de Snowbike UCI 2025 chez les messieurs en élite Super G. And the medals and jersey will be presented by, les médailles et le maillot sont remis par Monsieur Thierry Maréchal, président de la commission MTB à l'UCI, et pour les trophées, ce sera Monsieur Bernard Hinault, 5 fois vainqueur du Tour en France, qui remettra les trophées. In third place, and winner of the bronze medal, representing France, pour la médaille de bronze, vainqueur de la médaille de bronze et troisième place représentant la France, Monsieur Cédric Gracia.
Well, the legend that is Cedric Gracia takes away the bronze medal here. Absolutely storming performance to come down and add a medal here at the Snowbike Super G.
Vainqueur de la médaille d'argent, représentant la France, Pierre Thévenard.
Pierre Thévenard, the defending champion, 2 podiums in a row in the championships here in Châtel. Silver medal is his reward today. As his fellow countrymen from France applaud him, it's time to pull on that rainbow jersey, to pull on the iconic stripes, and to be presented with that gold medal. Your UCI Snowbike Super G World Champion in the men's competition, Vincent Toupin of France, an all-French podium here today.
The gifts are presented by Monsieur Bernard Hinault, 5-time winner of the Tour de France.
Well, Bernard Hinault has won many things in his time, and we never saw the Badger on a downhill bike. I'll tell you something, he'd have been a fearsome competitor. Not sure he would have beaten our medalists here today, though, even with all of his talent. A fantastic podium here in the men's competition. Cedric Gracia taking away 3rd place in the bronze medal. Pierre Thévenard taking away 2nd place on that silver medal. The race winner, the world champion for 2025, Vincent Toupin of France.
Ladies and gentlemen, in honor of our new UCI World Champion, we present the national anthem of France. Mesdames et messieurs, en l'honneur de notre nouveau champion du monde UCI, nous vous présentons l'hymne national de la France.
As Marcier plays out the three medalists on the stage in the men's Super G competition here at the UCI Snowbike competition. They get the applause of the crowd. Don't forget, of course, the hashtags at the side of the stage and across the backdrop to follow on social media. The world champion congratulated by the silver and bronze medalists. Fantastic racing in the men's competition, Emma, and this is us up nicely for the men's race in the dual slalom later on.
Yeah, it does indeed, and Thévenard, who took second place on the podium right there in front of us, took the win in the dual slalom as well last year. It's going to be an interesting race with Tupin taking away the gold medal in the Super G. That was one fast run.
It was a very fast run here today. The course will be reset. You can see the gates on the left-hand side. Join us for the dual slalom at 6 o'clock tonight.